Hey guys, I wanted to talk to y'all about a new cipher that just got solved on the new Zombies map, and it finally tells us what the zombie is and who he is sitting in this chair right here on Shadows of Evil. This is a really informative cipher, so big shout out to certain Personia on Reddit and also the COD Zombies forum guys. They all worked together and figured this out. So if you come to this room right here, you're going to see this typewriter with the cipher in it, and this was solved by using the AMSCO cipher. And here's what that message says. I met the reporter who was to deliver the artifact. He said he was going to bring it on his truck in a crate, but when I arrived, the reporter was babbling and acting wild and waving a letter in his hands, telling me to stay away. The crate containing the artifact had been sealed with some ancient magic. When I told him I must have the artifact and moved toward the crate, he attacked me. I acted in self-defense, stabbing him in the chest. So we are definitely getting some more answers here. So the spawn of Shadows of Evil, this truck that has the summoning key on the back of it, we could assume that is what they're talking about. So this is the reporter's truck, and he was bringing this ancient artifact, which is the summoning key inside of that crate. Another thing we get some answers for is this telephone call between the reporter and Mr. Rapp. The reporter talks about how he was told to go to the South Pacific and pick up some ancient artifacts, and now we know that is the summoning key, and he brought it here to Shadows of Evil. So he met somebody here in Shadows of Evil, and whenever he tried to protect the summoning key and not hand it over, he got stabbed and killed by that person. The cipher also talks about how he was waving like a letter around, so you could definitely assume that, yeah, this is him, the reporter. He got stabbed in the chest, and that is the letter they are talking about. It does have the letter M on it, so we've not been able to determine if this stands for Maxis, for Dr. Monty. We don't know yet. I'll play the audio that you hear whenever you go into the train station and you hear that phone call between the reporter and Mr. Rapp talking about how the reporter went and got the summoning key from the South Pacific.
But I gotta be honest, I'm getting nervous. These last 6 months you've had me working like a low-rent private dick, when really I just want to be a reporter. It's not that I'm ungrateful. I know the checks you've given me have been more than generous for services rendered. It's just all this stuff you've had me do. Tracking down ancient artifacts in the South Pacific, finding all these strange metals and rocks in Russia. And still, I haven't even met you face to face. I'm sorry, Mr. Rapp. I think maybe the mood in the city is getting to me a little. Making me nervous. Antsy.
So this is definitely interesting. This is all starting to come together now. If you refer back to that notebook page that we had to find all over Shadows of Evil, there were like a bunch of little torn up pieces of paper, and then you put it together, it looks like this. In the four corners, it gave longitude, latitude, coordinates for specific locations. The bottom coordinate takes you to Poland, which actually puts you in the setting of the giant. That's been determined that, yeah, Doris, the giant, that is what that coordinate stands for. The top right coordinate takes you to Austria. It puts you in the ice caves, but it's just above the castle location, and this is where the new Zombies map is. This coordinate here puts you in Russia, and the reporter did say that he did have to go to Russia and pick up some strange metals and rocks. We could definitely assume that we will be going to Russia eventually in one of the maps, because we've already been to the giant and obviously Austria, and both those coordinates are represented here. I am curious to find out what they're referring to as far as like strange metals and rocks. Seems like element 115 has been represented as almost a crystal form and sometimes liquid. So to me it seems like they're talking about something completely different. This final coordinate on the bottom right, this takes you to an island in the Pacific. I would assume this is what the reporter is talking about when he had to go to the South Pacific and retrieve some ancient artifacts, the summoning key. This place here is called Pompeii, and it is the federal state of Micronesia. We could definitely all guess that, yeah, we're gonna have a zombies map here someday. So is it possible that this is where the summoning key came from? And some other stuff that I've been reading about Pompeii, apparently it's one of the wettest places on Earth. It's got lots of waterfalls and rivers. I have good reason to believe that if we do get a zombies map here, then we could be swimming underwater on this one. A lot like how they implemented like underwater swimming and shooting on multiplayer, I think this might be something we could see on this map. Some more history that I saw about Pompeii, that back in the late 1800s, this used to be called Ascension Island. Spelled the same way, Ascension, like the zombies map, but I don't think this has any reference to that. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Also, there is another piece of information on the new Zombies map that's trying to be worked out right now. There's torn up pieces of paper all over the map, and when put together, they read in Japanese. I don't have enough information right now to tell you what it is, but it is a letter, and the letter talks about how they're talking to a majesty, and they're also talking about how they go to an island or are going to an island. Obviously, Takeo being Japanese, you could assume this is referencing him, so there might be something on this Pompeii island that might be about him. But let me know what you guys think about this, and we'll see you next video.